What's up, gamers? Joe Ross here of Cerulean Games, coming to you with another pickup video. I got a lot of pickups recently. It comes from various different places. I attended RetroFest up in Canton, which was the second time game swap up there. Guy puts on, Chris McClellan, did a pretty decent job, I felt. It was a fun little show to do. I had a blast. That same day, I attended the Eastern Ohio, Western PA Retro Gamers annual cookout. That was up in Niles at Wildcard Gaming. That was a good time, despite the rain. And then some of this other stuff picked up a couple days ago down in Kentucky. So I'll be sharing all of this with you, including a very large Sega Saturn lot I got in. Alright, well, without further ado, let's begin. First off, these are my pickups from RetroFest. These first games here I picked up from my buddy Jason, and first game is Alundra for PS1. Does have the map. It's a decent condition game, and PS1, it's on the rise. No one's talking about it. Everyone's all worried about N64. No one's noticing PS1. But it's a decent game, good working designs title. With the map, I feel that this is probably worth about $75. Also from Jason, I picked up both Wild Arms and Wild Arms 2. Both complete, pretty decent games. Be about 20 apiece. And finally from Jason, I picked up a copy of Haunting Ground for PS2. This is a great survival horror. I hardly ever see this one. I see Rule of Rose more often than this. I see Dot Hack Quarantine more often than this. So this one it's definitely as high tier as those other games for the PS2. So it's a definite must-have for any PS2 collector. I have never owned this. I've always wanted to. And right before the show, my buddy Brandon, he got a copy of this in, and I was going to go buy it because I've always wanted it. But then Jason had a copy at RetroFest, so I ended up picking that one up. And I also got the one from Brandon, which is in the video later. So happy to finally get this. And I think we'll be at about $120. It seems that's about what it's selling for in recent sales. And last item I got from RetroFest, I traded for this a little bit, and it is a copy of Demon's Crest, complete in box. The cartridge is mint. I'm not going to open it up for the sake of time. The manual is actually pretty nice. I'd give it about a 7 out of 10. This box has a weak spot. It was a Blockbuster rental, and when they cut the seal open, they cut straight through the cardboard there. Luckily, it's just on the bottom, though. It still looks nice from the front. It's not that bad. I've had nicer ones of this that I've sold for $300 in the past. I'm feeling that this one is probably going to be around like $220. So that's not a bad price, figuring games worth about $100 to $120, so about $50 a piece for the manual and the box isn't really that bad. So, happy to get this. Next up, these are the slim pickups I got from the cookout. These are all through trade, basically. First up, I'll tell you what, I'll split these up. These first two I got from my buddy FK. We did partial trade. I had a Bomberman Second Attack for N64 he wanted, so he gave me these two games in cash, and they are Legend of Zelda for NES. It's a silver seal, but not a 5-screw. Decent condition. And we'll be at about $20 on this one. And a really nice copy of Mario Party 3, which I think we will be at about $50 or $55 in that range. These next two I got from my buddy Steven. This was also through trade. I traded him a complete in box Knuckles Chaotix and $20 for these two. And it is North and South for the NES. Got some wear there on the cartridge itself. The manual, the label is actually pretty nice. It's just, it's got that fading in the plastic, sadly. The back is still nice, but oh well, nothing we can do about that. Still, this is one of my favorite games. It's a great game to play. If you haven't picked this up, I highly, highly recommend it. And I think we'll be at about $30 on this copy. And also from Steven, I picked up Sunset Riders. Fan favorite, and we'll be at about $80. Okay, this next batch, I got all these from my buddy Brandon. He owns Dickster's Video. That's down at the Hillbilly Flea Market in Ashland, Kentucky. I've talked about that several times. They're open Thursday through Sunday. He is there every day. He's very punctual about being there. So he has a great selection, one of the best selections in the River Cities area. Highly suggest going down there, talking to him. He's willing to work and deal with people. So I'm always happy to give him a shout out because of that. All right, first up we got Banjo-Kazooie, be at about $20. Banjo-Tooie, be at about $25. Got Mario Kart 64, be at about $45. Super Smash Brothers, be at about $50, $55. And Harvest Moon 64, be at $50 on that one as well. Got a decent copy here of this Konami Classic, Monster in My Pocket. This one is shooting up in price lately. I'm thinking about $40 on this one. Got a pretty decent label. And the ever so popular Contra, be at about $45. For the Genesis from Brandon, I picked up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist with very typical label wear. We'll be at about $50 on this one. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, I got 2 copies, and we will be at about $30 a piece. Also picked up Rock and Roll Racing, one of my favorites. Love getting this game in, and we will be at about $40 on this copy. Final Fantasy 2, can't go wrong with Squaresoft. We will be at about $40 on this one. Got a pretty decent copy of Super Metroid. It needs a replacement back, sadly, but nothing too serious. And we will be at about $50, $55. And the last game well, not the last game, the last Super Nintendo game I got from him, one I've never had before, and it is a really nice copy of Mega Man Soccer, which I'm thinking I'll probably be at about $75 on this copy. It is very, very nice. And some disc-based stuff I got from Brandon. We picked up Metal Gear Solid Black Label Complete. Will be at $20. Custom Robo, about $30. Mario Kart Double Dash, be at about $40. Mario Party 5, it is missing the manual, unfortunately, but I hardly ever see this one. I always see 4, 6, and 7. I hardly ever see 5. It's just kind of weird, I think, and the disc is loose in there. Let me put that back in. I'm thinking about $35 on this copy. Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness. That'd be about $35. This is a really clean copy of this game. Another one I've never owned, happy to get in it, is the Pokemon Coliseum bonus disc. Not too bad. It'll be about $35. Super Smash Brothers Melee. Our most popular game of all time now. Be at about $60. Dark Alliance 2, PS2, be at about $40. Monster Rancher 4, I think about $60 will be on this one. I've never owned this one either. It's a pretty decent copy. And the last game I picked up from Brandon was, as I told you earlier, another copy of Haunting Ground. And it is pretty decent. And like the other one, will be at about 110, 120 in that range. Alrighty, set those up there. Okay, and this last batch of games I got to show you. This is just a snippet of the Saturn stuff I got. I have a complete North American Sega Saturn library on consignment. All for sale. Trades are possible, but I'm going to be very stringent on trading these because the guy wants to sell them. He's a very good friend of mine. He's very popular in the gaming community. He's a very active trader through all the Facebook groups. I'm not going to say his name, give him some anonymity there, but he's having some rough times. He wanted to move this. We found a good, decent consignment percentage that I'm comfortable with. Consignment, Cerulean Games, we really like to do consignment. If you have something you want to sell and feel that for whatever reason you may not be able to get top dollar for it, we would be happy to consign it for you. Our percentages are very competitive with eBay. Not to mention, we are getting very, very optimal exposure in video games, especially right now, this summer. We got CORGS-Con here, the biggest show in Ohio, coming up next weekend. And then we have Too Many Games in a month from now. That's in Philadelphia. That is probably, without a doubt, the biggest, largest convention in the entire country. Midwest Gaming Classic and Portland Retro Gaming Expo might have something to say about that, but from my personal experience, I haven't been to Portland yet, but from the other big ones, Too Many Games seems to be king. So if you have something you want us to sell for you, please get in touch with us. It's very, very simple. And we do sell this stuff, no matter what some of the haters say. This stuff does sell. We get top dollar for it, and everyone's happy. All right, so let's show you. I'm going to show you some of the higher end Sega Saturn stuff that we have. And I don't think I mentioned this earlier. All of this will be available at our next convention, which is CORGS-Con here in Columbus, Ohio. That is next Saturday, May 28th. It is at the Franklin County Fairgrounds this year over in Hilliard. That's on the west side of Columbus. Regular show hours are 10 to 6. Admission regular is $7, and you get 5 raffle tickets with that. And then Gary is running an early bird special from 9 to 10. That is a $10 admission. You also get 5 raffle tickets for that. So I highly suggest doing that, because there's going to be some vendors there with some really, really good stuff, and you want to be able to make sure that you get in there on time to get the good stuff. So, like I said, all this will be available there. So let's show you some of the Saturn stuff. First off, I'm going to show you Mega Man 8. It's pretty nice. I have not inventoried the whole collection yet. Some of these need case replacements, and I'm going to play around with that, and they need foams and stuff like that. So I will get these up and looking really good. But like Mega Man 8 here, one of the great titles that we're going to have. Along with that, we have Mega Man X4. These are just some of the really good games people to play. I cannot tell you how popular these are, and Saturn stuff is just exploding right now. So probably now is the best time to buy it before it gets any higher. And along with good games, we also have, because it's a complete set, we have a lot of hard-to-find games, like 3D Baseball right here. This was a tough game to find for the guy who owned this collection. He told me it was just one of the hardest games for him to track down. Okay, and I mean, it's a kind of pricey game for being a baseball game. I think it's we'll be at about $70 on it. But we have a ton of games like that. Another one is Winning Post, another hard-to-find game. So if you are a Saturn collector, please stop by, because we're going to have all the hard-to-find titles for you. You know. And then we have other really good Working Designs ones like Shining Wisdom. Dragon Force. This one is spoken for at the moment, as is the Mega Man 8, I believe. If for some reason those guys don't pick these games up from me, then they will be available to the general public. But there is some good stuff in this lot that hasn't been spoken for yet. Shining the Holy Ark is another good title. The last game released on the Saturn, I believe, Shining Force 3. A really hard-to-find game right here. House of the Dead. That's getting close to $200. Albert Odyssey. It's another game that will probably be at about $200 on. This is a good one here. It's one of the few Atlas games for the system, and it is Lunacy. This is a tough game to find, and it is even tougher to find with this. The map. Okay, I mean, this is... I haven't actually looked it up. I'm imagining that this is in that $250 to $300 range because of the map. So this guy, he knew what he was doing when he started collecting these. Got Sega Bomberman. This one is up near $300 now. Very popular game. Magic Knight Grey Earth. It does have all of the stickers intact. This is a great piece. I mean, this one is beautiful. Definitely worth it for anybody looking to get that. Another one that is just exploding in value is Burning Rangers. Okay, we're going to be at about $400 on this copy. You know, and I mean, that was like the price of Panzer Dragoon Saga a year ago. So, speaking of which, we will have Panzer Dragoon Saga. Pretty decent. It does have some manual wear there, so I'm going to knock the price a little bit on that because of that. But probably going to be around $500 on it because that's where it's going. And then last, I'm going to take this one out of the case. We have the big boy for Saturn, and it is a Daytona Championship Circuit Edition Net Link Edition. Okay, it is in the case, and it has the supplemental manual, completely intact and in beautiful condition. Also has the other inserts for it, and it is a gorgeous disc. Like I said, the guy who consigned this to us, he loved this collection. He's, like I said, he's going through some, he's having some medical work done on him, which is very sad, and that is one of the reasons why he's moving this. So if you buy any of this, it is definitely going to a good cause for a very good, honest collector in this hobby who has done a lot of deals with a lot of different people. So, I mean, I'm honored to be selling this for him. And I sound a little emotional right now talking about all this because I really feel bad that I have to sell this for him. But it's beautiful stuff. Anyone who gets it is going to be happy with it. Like I said, there is 240 some games. I'll have them all there. Even the crap filler stuff if that's what you need. So please, if you got any questions about it, let me know. Drop some comments or something and shoot me messages through Facebook or whatever. I don't mind holding any of this for anyone at CORGS. Whatever doesn't sell at CORGS is going to go to Philadelphia. I am not shipping any of this since it's on consignment. I don't do that with consignments. Every deal I do is in person. That just adds a little extra security to the consignor's wares. So I hate to be a stickler about that, but that's just the way it is. But again, as always, thank you for watching. This will be available at CORGS. I hope to see you all there. I will be doing a preview video today as well, so look out for that. It won't be as long as this one, but I got some good stuff, and I hope to compete with some of the other vendors who are going to be there. And I really expect this to be another phenomenal year like it was last year. Okay, well, as always, guys, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.